Ready when you are, senor.
That's cool.
Oh, yes. Welcome back. Say Less Tips time. Your favourite video of the week. Well, my favourite video of the week. Maybe it is. But anyway, what you need to do is comment your tips down below on this YouTube video. Comment anywhere. Comment across all of our socials. If you haven't already, give us a like. We are sitting at about 30% of you are subscribed. So we need some more subscribers. Let's get those numbers up around the YouTube. Let's get around the boys. Anyway, Magic Round time.
Best time of the year, mate.
Best time of the year.
Apart from Origin.
Yeah, I like Magic Round.
I like Magic Round as
I
well.
do love a good Magic Round.
I didn't introduce him, as I always fail to do that. Brendo's here, and Trav is, once again, the young fella, is having a stint in Resi, so Preston has sent through his tips, but he will be back next week.
Been smashing it in Queensland Cup potties lately. I'm up first grade, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, straight into Magic Round. The first game is an absolute rib tickler. It is the Raiders up against the Bulldogs. Now, just a couple of teams with a lot of heart. I think, obviously, the Raiders started well and the Bulldogs are building. I think it's a perfect time for both these teams to play each other. The old dog, Ricky Stewart, up against the young buck, Cameron Serrato. This is going to be a great game. Early game on the Friday, the sort of the precursor to the Broncos Manly, but I think this is set to be a really, really good game.
Pardon the pun. This game's going to be a dogfight. This is going to be, I think, low scoring and just gritty, grimy game. That's what I feel.
Yeah, it's a great opener.
No frills, this one.
Great opener. I think the Bulldogs are really just going to knuckle down defensively. They've been on form defensively for the better half of the season so far. I think it's going to be a great game. But you can't put it past Pretty Ricky. He knows, he gets footy. He gets it. And when he's backed up in a corner, he keeps swinging, and the boys have come out on top a few times this season. I think it's going to be a great game.
You say that I haven't looked at the weather. You say it could be a low-scoring game, but the last two previous meetings, 36-24 to the Raiders and 34-30 to the Bulldogs. But the Bulldogs are a better defensive-minded team this year.
Yeah,
100%.
I think their new system right now keep this one. I think this would keep this one relatively low. I would say.
Like their left edge is gonna. It's just been destroying teams at the minute. And Matty Burton's just been playing wonderful. So I think this will be a great game.
I see this like a 14-6 kind of game.
Oofed.
Yeah.
Oofed.
Yeah.
I think the points are going to come down.
Gamble responsibly.
I think the points are actually going to come down. Is it the left side with Burton, Kickow, Addo-Carr,
Crichton.
Crichton's on the right. So, Bronson Cherry.
Yeah.
Bronson Cherry.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Yeah, that left side is looking very dangerous. KO Weeks is looking good in the 7 for Raiders. And the captain, Whitehead.
Oi!
Hey!
Oi! He said it right last week and he screwed it up 3 times after. White Hood.
Hey.
Sounds like a beatlish superhero.
Whatever his hood's doing, it is. He is on.
He's a gun.
Absolutely smashed it last week. Yeah. Good game.
Who you got for this one?
Oh, look, I'm still on the fence. I don't know. Bulldogs are favourites.
Yeah, I'm back in the favourites.
Is this the first time the Bulldogs have been favourite this year? The Bulldogs are favourites. I don't think they've been favourites at all this year. This is the first time they're favourites.
They got close. It finished close with that. They came in a lot in that Rabbitohs game, but yeah.
they were favourites against the Tigers 2 weeks ago.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, they were too. I did bet that game.
No.
Sorry.
We'll brush that. He's forgotten about that one.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the late game on Friday. It's Manly Broncos, and have they played each other every single Magic Round over the last 3 years in a row now? It's Magic Round 3 years? It's 4 years. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. Look, no Reynolds. Obviously, he's still injured. Ezra's really sort of stepped up. Jock Madden's back in training. He's should set to be named, but Josh Rogers did a great job for the Broncos last week. And yeah, DCE and Brooks, is Ola Kawatu back? I think that's what, he's back from the suspension. Yes, he's back. And I think that's going to make a big difference here. It's hard to go against the Broncos.
I mean, The Broncos are obviously hosting this fucking beautiful event. I think we're going to see more Broncos jerseys out than ever. The crowd's going to be huge for the Broncos game. I don't think Manly can get this. I think Broncos, regardless of their ins and outs, are just going to have a stellar of a game. Walshy's going to be on form. I think this is going to be a well overs game. I think Broncos.
I think even if Turbo was here this week, I was quite happily tipping Broncos.
Yeah, I agree. I'd put overs on this, to be honest.
As long as they don't get too kick happy again. Just hold the ball.
Look,
finish sets.
Obviously, I didn't say this at the start of the podcast. We are filming this before the team lists have come out this week due to time constraints or something or other. But look, yeah, I'm leaning towards an upset. Technically it's actually Manly's home game. I know
your upset's been letting you down the last few weeks. I'll happily take you the other way.
You won't be taking me anywhere.
I'll take you the other way.
You won't take me, mate. I'm undecided. We'll get onto the tips as we do at the end of the podcast. So stick around to the end. But yeah, let's move on to the next game. Short and sweet today. We're just getting around it. The next game is the Titans up against the Knights. Now this is a great game. This is anyone's game. I see the Titans are starting to hit some form. The Knights have been solid, but I did hear that the young Livewire fullback might be out injured. Did you see something earlier about Armstrong maybe in a little bit of doubt?
Armstrong is in doubt, which is, he's been on form at the minute. He's been playing so well. So I think that's going to be a huge loss.
This game screams 3 p.m. on a Saturday. This is the perfect time for these two teams to play. I think they'll throw the ball around a lot. I think this is going to be one of the sleeper games of the weekend, I would say.
I mean, Titans are starting to find some consistency.
They are. The mad scientist Desi's got him up and about. I reckon they'll be up for this one.
Yeah, he's doing his magic that we saw from a very well put together Manly side a few years ago. And the Knights are a little bit injury ridden. Obviously, Ponga's got a lengthy stint out.
I think they are playing. I think they're playing good without KP though. I
said this last week. They started to go on a run last year in their 10-game win streak without Ponga.
They're just
Ponga
playing
came
footy.
back in. Yeah, exactly.
They're not trying to rope him into every set play. I think they're just sort of playing what's in front of them a little bit more now.
Yep.
I think they play better without Ponga.
Yeah.
I think Ponga commands too much the ball, and the rest of the team, when he's not there, gets to play footy.
Yep.
Obviously, last week they got Frizzell back, and he looks huge. Bradman Best had his best game.
Gamble's out for this one.
Supposedly,
Gamble's
which we
out.
didn't touch on the last podcast. Sorry, that's the other thing I want to bring up in the news is Kalen Ponga apparently, is missing a 6-figure endorsement deal from a third party, which is insane.
Yeah, but the Knights have said it's nothing to do with us.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying it's
Yeah.
the third party. So his manager, the dad, has
His
come
dad.
through and yeah.
Let's
From-
not-
It's
let's
come
not
through
go
and he
down
said,
that
I haven't
rabbit
been
hole.
paid, he hasn't been paid like X amount since 2020, 2021 season for whatever he's done. And now there's speculation that if he doesn't get paid out, he's going to change clubs.
I think from everything I've heard over his career, his dad's his manager. His dad sounds like an absolute flop. Like you're the highest paid player in the Knights. There's some third party deal that has nothing to do with the Knights. You're making that much money. You just got your hand out for more money. Like just woo down, bro. Like
It's a business though.
I understand it's a business, but all he's trying to do, his dad's just trying to line his pockets a bit more. Like just get your fingers out of it. Go get a new manager. Like
More or less for me, it was if he doesn't get this endorsement deal, then, as a manager, he'd be looking for other options for Ponga. And Ponga could also be, yeah.
Jeez, he'd look
What?
good in a Rabbitohs jersey.
What team wants to deal with his dad as a manager?
Well,
If I-
Jack-
I mean, I'm sure there's some dickhead managers out there, but that's
Oh, 100%. But I'd be like, look, we'll have a chat to you, Kalen. If your dad's not involved, maybe get another manager.
Yeah.
Just woo down. But obviously, you touched on Tyson Gamble being out, but we saw the end of the Titans game. Brimson was on the bench. Forum was on the bench. There's I don't know who's going to play in the halves. I think Randall and Verrills finish in the halves. Tom Weaver is actually injured as well. Are they going to bring some young halfback up from the Burleigh Bears? I
I think Preston's playing for him. this week.
He might as well.
Yeah, you could, honestly.
I think his
look-
younger brother, who's 15, could have a run.
Yeah.
Storm wouldn't do that. Look, they're going to struggle. This game's going to be, it's going to go one way or the other pretty heavily. Both are struggling with injuries, one more than the other though.
Yeah.
But they're, you know,
It's gonna be backyard footy stuff this one, I reckon.
I do like the stat. The Titans have won four of their past 6 games at Suncorp, but
Yeah.
I think with all the injuries, I don't know. Like it's a Hail Mary to go for the Titans here, but
I mean, 28 games played, and the Knights have won 15 of 13. So,
15.
but
15 compared to Titans 13.
Yeah.
yeah,
so-
but the Suncorp Stadium
They're
stat
doing well.
is also pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, lottery. Big game. Here we are. Sharks against Roosters.
Yeah.
What the two of
Wait.
the biggest informed teams in the competition right now.
This is the main event for sure.
Obviously, Hines will be named, but they're obviously sweating on his calf injury. I think he needs to play for the Sharks to overcome the Roosters. The Roosters are absolute favourites. Like we said on the last podcast, Atkinson filled in very well. But so if Atkins played 7, who played 6 again? It was Brayley. Brayley went back to
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did a great job.
Yeah.
Just really played his role very well.
Obviously, I'm a big Chookies fan, but Sharks have won 5 straight of their last games. But
Sorry, what? I thought that the Sharks couldn't beat a top 8 side. That's a
Rabbitohs beat them 34-22. Cowboys 42-6. Raiders 40.
I wouldn't call the Rabbitohs a top 8 side. I just meant like over the last couple of.
No,
What
but
is
they-
this?
they-
The attack the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Even
episode?
though they haven't played, the bigger teams in the top 8 side, they're still coming off form. They had a great win over the weekend,
But-
which everyone was very doubtful for, obviously with Nico being out, and they still got the job done. Their lines look great. They look great. The Roosters obviously look insanely good. Premiership winning good, and I'm all for it.
If Sam Walker's on the song, I think they're going to struggle with that creative touch that he has just in and around the ruck and just the shine and the frills on top of the Roosters at the moment. Everything's falling for them. They're pretty healthy.
Well, since 1998, the Roosters have won 28 out of 46 compared to these fellas, so it'll be absolutely solid.
Would you say that's the main event of the weekend?
I reckon you got first against fifth on the ladder.
Surely Tigers Dolphins is the main event.
It's your main
Please.
event.
Yeah, it's your main event for sure. But Roosters have fought their way up from outside of the 8 and
Yeah.
they're coming up now, and the Sharks have been very strong and under the radar within that top 4. So
I think what you get in a lot of games is you're going to get those big second rowers running at your halves, and I think Luke Keary's defense, who's he got running at him this week? Probably Nakora.
yeah,
He's handled the likes of Olakuatu. Even if Teague Wilton comes on, I think Keary's defense has been absolutely massive.
I agree. They've even put they were talking earlier on during the week about Sam Walker, comparing him to Cooper Cronk, which I thought was insane. But even copping that as a young fella, the beard's obviously paying off. The beard is paying off.
In the beard, we trust.
James Harden-esque, yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be a cracker. I definitely think whether Nico Hines plays or not will make a big difference, especially with that kicking game.
I mean, are you playing just for Magic Round, or do you want to take an extra couple games out? If you're in Nico Hines' head, would you take an extra couple games out so you're well more fit for the rest of the season?
I'd be taking an extra week or two, especially with Origin coming, because
Why pull a Nathan Cleary and just get done a week later?
That's right. I think that was
Rest him.
100%.
Rest him. Put the money on the chooks.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Responsibly.
Moving on now. We are on to the Rabbitohs versus Cowboys. I cannot believe the Cowboys are $1.34 favourites.
madness.
Who knows what the Rabbitohs team is going to look like? It's just a team of strangers.
So Preston's playing for the Titans first. He's backing up for the Bunnies.
Yeah,
100%.
wow. Look,
Yeah. Look.
I don't have confidence in the Cowboys at all. Din, Drinky,
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
The form guide for this game
Yeah,
is
they're-
L's across the board. Both
Yeah,
of them for
both
the
of them
last 5 games. all losses across the board.
Wow.
This
yeah.
is going to be a dog's breakfast sort of game, and it's going to be knock on City.
100%.
7:45 on a Saturday.
Oh.
That's probably like I reckon half the stadium's going to go home after the Sharks Roosters game.
I think you could be right.
Although everyone's on half Queensland's on the Cowboys bandwagon anyway, so they'll stick around.
In the last 38 games they've played, it's Bunnies have won 19 compared to Cowboys 18. So I mean, it's a good matchup.
Yeah, but
Historically,
that's 10 years.
If you said at the start of this season, if you told me these two were playing at a Magic round, even after the first round, if you told me these two teams were playing Magic round, I'd say, mate, that's going to be a banger of a game.
Oh yeah, you bar up.
And yeah, I'll pause again. But yeah, now how the graceful have fallen. This is going to be something.
I think this is going to be a high scoring game.
Oh,
Take the overs. Take the overs. Gamble responsibly.
The over's going to be set at like 60 points or something ridiculous.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole on my sports bet.
No.
Oh, right. Let's move on. That's a coin flip for me. Warriors, Panthers. Up the Wars is down the Wars at the moment. SJ's been playing injured all season. And now, obviously, with Cleary out and in New South Wales Cup, the young man Schneider got injured. So it is time for the young Jack Cole to shine. Luai, Jack Cole in the halves of the Panthers. I think, like as I said last week, I think Jack Cole is the future of the Panthers, and along with Maverick Geyer, I think I still think Dylan Edwards there. The Panthers system. I think it's a lay down misère. It's another victory for the Panthers. They just keep rolling on because they have the systems in place for the next man up, and I can't see the Warriors getting it done. Like, I don't know what's happened. Is everyone figured out Webby's coaching? And, I mean, if anyone's going to figure it out, it's Ivan Cleary. There's so much talent in the Warriors. What's happened? Obviously, Rogers out as well.
Yeah. I can't even explain what's going on over there. Like, they look so good at the start of the season. They really came out of the gate playing very, very well. Their big players are doing big things. But we touched on it a couple of weeks ago that I think they're relying on their big players too much to make and create absolutely everything out there. Like, the forwards need to be doing a bit more work in the middle. They need to be setting the boys up out the back, but like making all that happen consistently is where they're falling short, in my opinion. Anyway, they're just not being as consistent with how they're attacking or their lines. I think their big boys need a little bit of pressure taken off their shoulders so they can breathe, because they're all roaming players. Like, a lot of their big boys out there love to roam, and they play what's in front of them, but they're struggling on their set plays.
That's it. I think the Panthers' defensive system there is going to be. I think they're going to hold pretty strong.
Tear them to shreds.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be enough thrown at them, enough creativity. Like, especially with RTS out, I thought maybe that could cause a few worries, but no.
I just think, obviously, watching the Warriors every single week, AFB, Mitch Barnett, absolutely huge. Like, they're two of the best front rowers like this season. Like obviously AFB is just probably just behind Fisher Harris.
He's killing it.
Barnett's been great and is in the mix for Origin in a bad side, but then I think their shape's been figured out. Like, they're sort of their back line. There's injuries across. Montoya was out last week as well. Like, yeah, it's Panthers all the way here.
Yeah, completely agree.
All right, moving on. Storm versus Eels. Now, this is always a cracker. Even if the Eels are doing this terribly, they always sort of take it to the Storm. They always seem to get the upper hand. Is Hughes obviously Pappy's still out? Is Hughes going to be back?
Munster.
Yeah, Eels Moses was going to be back, but I heard he's not going to be back.
Yeah, he's not back.
And obviously, Gutho. The young fella that's filled in the halves, Ethan Sanders. I like him.
I like him too.
I like him a lot.
He's showing promise.
He's showing bravery. It's like, I was even watching some old highlights of the Kangaroo Tour and watching like Cliffy Lyons and Ricky Stewart like just dig into the line with their offloads, and he really straightens up the Eels' attack and the way that he plays like a really, really good half. Yep. I think he's got a big future. And Blaze Talangi, That kid is money. He is big
He's
time.
a superstar.
He is
He
a
is.
superstar. The Eels need to just throw the kitchen sink at him. Otherwise, he's going to end up. I don't even know why. Where obviously playing as a fullback. I said this a few weeks ago. Name me a side that doesn't have a good fullback. Like you see Hammer go down and Trey Fuller come through.
Didn't
like
Heaper still
like
on the weekend?
like
Yeah.
at the Raiders, you got young Chevy Stewart, you got Dream Buller, like all the teams down the bottom, like Cowboys, Drinky, South, Latrell, like everyone's got a good fullback. It's just the most high. All these kids come through just wanting to be a fullback now.
Yeah, it's the superstar position. It really is.
Yeah, well, that's where the money is. But I mean, look, I took the Storm last week. I don't know, like it's hard, and I might change my tips later once we see this team list. But I think you got to stick with the Storm. Like Munster's there.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well,
I don't think Bellier could be too stoked with them dropping that one last week. I think he'll have them up for this. I think this will be a much more put together Melbourne performance, I would say.
I reckon as well.
Yeah, Bellamy's a genius.
He's a genius.
Love what he's doing around developing his young forwards, just developing his team. Just the Melbourne Storm system. It's a juggernaut, and it's still if they're fourth, they're third, they're second. Like when has the Storm been out of the top four? Like don't know, never.
Not for a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the last game of the round. It's the fourth place Dolphins. Who would have thought that at the start of the year? 10 rounds in, 11
that's
rounds in,
wild.
Dolphins
Yeah,
fourth.
second NRL year for them.
The master. The
Yeah,
master
it is.
himself,
It
Wayne
really
Bennett.
is.
Just going along.
Master
nicely.
Uwe Bennett.
Yeah.
Suspensions, injury. Hammer's back for I hear Hammer's back for the Dolphins. We don't know just yet, but Aiden Caesar is still out suspended. IPAP suspended now. John Bateman's out for about 8 to 10 weeks with a bicep or a pec. Just the Tigers, just Latu Fainu. No, yeah, there's Toa. Just the Tigers are dropping like flies, and they don't have they're not a Roosters in Melbourne. They don't have the depth. That attrition's not just affecting the teams at the top, like your Clearys and your Turbos. It's affecting the teams down the bottom as well. Season's too long. I'm going to tip the Tigers because I always tip the Tigers, and
Just about to ask you
I
that
never go
question.
off my team.
That's
Like
a loyalty battle.
yeah,
I respect
100%. I couldn't care if I lost a tipping comp by 1,000 points. So I'm always going to tip my team.
Ow.
Imagine I go off them this week and they win. And it's like, why wouldn't you back your team? Absolutely. We're probably going to get pumped by 50, but I'm going to back my team.
I will say sometimes the Dolphins do play down to a team. I've noticed like they're always up for those really big games, which is why they are sitting fourth. But I think just with the Tigers herky jerky, no one knows who's going to be playing for them. I really think they could sort of lure them into a messy game, and it might be closer than everyone thinks. This one,
I'm hoping that a couple of the young up and coming forwards get named, but Appy's just going to run himself into the ground. Like the development of what Wayne Bennett has done with you've got Jeremy Marshall King, Isaiah Katoa, and then you've got Hammer at the back, and his old mate buddy Nicarima running around there. Bennett's that magic dust. Bennett has the magic dust.
He does. He really does. I think it's going to be. Look, I actually agree with Trav. I think this will be a lot closer than everyone thinks. Tigers have still got a bit of oomph. They've still got fire in the belly. So I think it won't be too far gone. And if it is, you can only put it down to the Dolphins and.
See, if the books thought it was going to be a complete and utter domination, they'd be sitting closer to $1.20, $1.15. The books see something. There is something there.
Something in the water.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah. Even if Hammer's not back, Trey Fuller's at the back. Holy.
He's playing very, very well.
Where are you going to put him? Play him 14? Play him on wing? Like Asako and Bostock are on the wings. Where can Trey Fuller be?
100%.
Move him into 6 and sit Nicarima. Nicarima's been great.
Yep.
You
can't. He's going to be out.
Yeah. Obviously he's going to come back in 2 weeks when Hammer makes the Origin side. Just go have a rest, mate. You've done well.
Yep.
Lockie Galvin has been a bit quiet since his suspension, and Benji needs to go. Here's the keys to Ferrari. Jaden, you just defend on your site. Worry about having a kick and making your tackles. Lockie, run this team.
100%.
You're up, kid. This is it. The future is now. Tigers Premiership 2025.
I see it.
I see it too.
I don't.
Give him something.
Yeah, mate. Throw me a bone, the old glory hunting sombrero wearing Roosters, or
Arriba.
exactly.
I'll take it.
Look, big round, magic round. If you're there, enjoy. You know what? I was thinking about this morning while I was watching some footy highlights. Why can't we have 2 magic rounds? One in Brisbane, one in Sydney. How good would that be? Obviously, there are a lot of games played in Sydney, but like have it at just like one of those big stadiums that can fit like 80,000 people in it, and have a like maybe round 11, maybe round 22. Have a second magic round in Sydney.
Yeah, let's ruin somebody else's fields.
Why can't we have 2 magic rounds? I think it'd be great for the game. I'd love to have a weekend down Sydney, watch all the games in one stadium. Maybe you wouldn't even have to do it in one stadium. Maybe you have 2.
I think it's I like it. I think that's a longer season for the boys, and I think it's a lot more.
It's the same
physically
round.
tolling.
It's the same round.
Oh, in the same round.
Yeah, it's the same. Like no, magic round is round 11. So you're not adding a round of football. You're just having another magic round.
Maybe they could call it something different.
Yeah, maybe call it buddy get around Sydney. I don't know.
I get around. Is it Beach Boys?
Yeah, mate.
Let's go.
That's week 2 of Brendo singing on the podcast. You can download his album from iTunes.
You're going to drop in an EP, are you not?
Yep, I am. 2 weeks' time.
That's big. That's huge.
What are we on about here?
Yeah,
I don't
facts.
know, boys.
Let's get into the tips.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know who I'm tipping, but the young man has sent through his tips. We'll even get Trav to throw in some tips here as well.
100%.
It means nothing, but why not?
No, special guest. Oh, what? Special guest tips, mate.
Special guest tips will.
Like it means nothing. This guy.
Not it means nothing, but like to our.
That's the host.
I'm gonna go just clean sweep it. You watch this.
Yeah, righto. I'll let Trav go first. You write these down. Clean sweep. 8 out of 8.
You ready for this?
Ready to go.
Bulldogs over the Raiders. Bang. Broncos over the Manly Sea Eagles. We're going the Knights over the Titans. Knights over the Titans. We got the Roosters over the Sharkies. Obvious.
Yeah, mate.
The Bunnies over the Cowboys.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. Watch it.
Well, that's his downfall.
Stay true.
Yeah. The Penny Panthers over the Wars. Storm are going to do the Eels over. And the Dolphins are going to do the Tigers. Sorry.
No, you're right. Look, I can read Preston's, but yeah, pretty much the same except one. Bulldogs over Raiders, Broncos over Manly, Knights over the Titans, Roosters over the Sharks, Cowboys over Bunnies, Panthers over Warriors, Storm over Para, and the Dolphins over the Tigers. So he's just obviously didn't back your Bunnies.
No. I couldn't just pick all the favourites. What's the funny?
Brendo, are you ready? Because I'm not.
I'm ready. I'm taking a little bit of left turn with that first game. I'm going to go pretty Ricky, the Raiders over the Bulldogs. 7th spot. I think they can do it. Broncos over Manly, 100%. I'm going to go the... You know what? I'll do it. I'm going to go the Titans over the Knights. All right? That's for all those Titans fans out there.
Desi.
Cop that. Roosters over Sharks. Gonna go Cowboys over the Bunnies. I'm gonna go Panthers over the Warriors. Storm over Eels, and the mighty Finns up over the West Tigers.
Brendo loves backing against the Tigers, and one day we will get him.
Yeah,
We've only lost 6 in a row.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow.
But
maybe not next month either.
Maybe it'll be against the Roosters. Never know.
I'll bet money on that, mate.
All right, speaking of the word I used last week, I'm so conflicted. I'm gonna say my tips and I'm gonna change them later. I don't even know, so I'm just gonna spit out the first team that comes to my mouth, and we're gonna go. I am gonna take the Raiders over the Bulldogs. I'm taking Manly over the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Knights over the Titans. I'm taking the Roosters over the Sharks. I'm taking the Rabbitohs over the Cowboys. Cop that, Cowboys. Panthers over Warriors. I've got to take the Storm over the Eels. And the Tigers over the Dolphins by 2 points. we'll cover the line at least. I don't know, but yeah.
1 to 12. 1 to 12.
Whatever.
If you couple that in a multi, those would be astronomical odds.
Gamble responsibly.
Of course.
And the Mighty Dragons with the 2 points. Big shout out to Benny Hunt. Played absolutely fantastic last week and will be coming from the 14 in Queensland's Origin team. We haven't spoke about Origin at all this week, but there's plenty of time. We'll get onto that.
Yeah. Big chat for that next week. Chat for that next week.
Thanks to the boys for joining us. Trav,
you.
subbing in.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
Young man will be back next week. Maybe we'll go 4s up. Who knows? That's next week. Anyway, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment down below. Put your tips in there. People will start tipping on there, and people start tipping in the comments on YouTube. I'm going to start offering cash prizes.
Oof.
Yeah, get around that. If you've made it to the end and you've got this far, mate, you know. Anyway, that's all the time for. You boys got anything else? Because I'm absolutely done. Cooked like a chicken.
Doodled.
Nah, gents. Well done.
All right.
Let's get it.
Deuces.
Say less. Peace out. Say hi to your mum from me. Yo.
Good shit, boys.
Jeez.
We made it, mate. 306.
Yeah, thank fuck.